Hey, this is Carla.
And this is Jasmine.
And you're listening to Cracking the Coconut,
where we tackle taboo conversations in the Filipino community.
By cracking one coconut at a time. Hello, Coconut family. Welcome back to Cracking the Coconut. I hope you all are having an amazing, super duper califragilisticexpialidocious day, evening, week, whatever. I am your host, Carla J.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and we are actually on episode 9 now, is it? Mm-hmm. We're 90% done with season 1, everybody.
Yeah,
we
have this episode and our season finale, episode 10, which will be out next week. And let me tell you, it's gonna be a fun one.
Season 10. I mean, episode 10. My bad. I'm on season 10 already. Episode 10 is gonna be real fun. So I can't wait for you guys to go check that out once it gets released.
Yeah, and again, we've said it in the past several episodes, but we truly do mean it, and we mean it with the most genuine of our hearts. Thank you so much for all the love, the support, and everything when it comes to Cracking the Coconut, your comments, your likes, interacting on our Instagram and TikTok feeds. It's just so awesome and so amazing, and we love all the support from everyone, not just with our friends and family and people that we know personally, but even strangers. But are you really strangers? You're more like part of the family, the coconut fam. You're the coconut fam.
All right, so our big topic today, episode 9, Cracking the Coconut, season 1, it's gonna be Filipino family traditions.
Ooh, so if you don't know, or if you're aware, I don't know, Filipinos are very traditional people. It's an amazing thing. I love that we have so many amazing, beautiful traditions, and some of them are traditions that have to do with holidays like Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever it may be, and sometimes they're just traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation that all are similar within families.
Let's just jump into a big family tradition that I'm sure a lot of Filipinos experience, especially Filipinos overseas. So whether you're in America, Canada, Australia, Europe, all that, it's sending money back home to the family in the Philippines. That's a big thing.
That's a big tradition.
Yeah, in my family, I definitely know that they sent money. So my grandpa, especially, he was big on sending money back home to his family, like estate. They had like a mausoleum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, he had to send money back home to help maintain that space. Yeah. And that's where his parents were laid to rest. And that's something that, he willingly wanted to do. And it was great. Like, it showed that how much he cared and respected, like, his parents and respecting them in the afterlife. So that was really cool to see. But, I'm pretty sure it came with a lot of issues.
Yeah. Like sending family home.
Bye.
Bitch. No. Sending money back home to the Philippines to family is not just within the Filipino culture. It spans across many different cultures. So we are 90 Day Fiancé fans, and if you don't know what that show is, definitely go watch it. You can find clips of it on YouTube. They're streaming it on Discovery Plus. It's on Hulu also as well, I believe.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you know their life? But 90 Day Fiancé, essentially what it is, it's a reality TV show on TLC about couples who have 90 days to get married because they are on what is called a fiancé visa. And so if you meet a boo, you boo thing out in the Philippines and you want them to stay out in the US, then you have 90 days to get married so they can stay in the US.
Yeah, and 90 days to lock them down.
90 days to lock them down. Let me tell you, in 90 days, I barely can lock down a routine of breakfast. Never mind a whole ass partner.
No pressure. You got 90 days to make sure that this motherfucker is someone you want to keep around for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that there are many people on 90 Day Fiancé who come from a plethora of cultures and traditions, and whenever they're out here in in the US, they always like sending money back home. And a lot of the times their American partner, usually white American partners, don't understand why they have to send money home every single month. And they tend to get into a lot of arguments of, you know, we just sent them $200 last month. Why do we have to do it again this month? And they really don't understand why they keep sending money over when they just did it like not too long ago.
Yeah. It's not a one-time payment when you're sending money back home to the family, because you know, a lot of people don't understand or don't see it as you know, if you marry a person, you're also marrying that person's fam.
Yeah.
And you know, it might be different in American culture, I guess, where you know, a lot of people want to keep it solid with their just core group. So the spouses, the children, that's the immediate family, of course. But not knowing that, you know, mom's is back home in the Philippines and she's comes from struggle. She needs some money. You know, if you're in America, that's kind of like your way of giving back to your family and letting them know, like, hey, I still support you. I still love you. Here's some money to do that.
Yeah. And if you have the financial means, by all means, fucking go for it. If there's, I mean, we have tons of family back home in the Philippines. My parents are always sending them money back home. But I remember one time I was not eavesdropping, but I was in the same room as them when they were talking about it. But I guess there was a specific family member back home in the Philippines that kept asking my parents for money, and they weren't being grateful at all, and just were being very, very greedy. And my parents were discussing amongst themselves and saying, kind of thinking, okay, what should we do this next month? Because they keep asking for money, and that's not a problem, but it's very greedy. Or they keep upping it, like, oh, I know you sent 200 last week or last month, but can we have 600 this time? And it's like, where does this money going? Of course, if you need help paying for bills or electricity, or you need books for school, you know, we're happy to help. But at this point, you're taking advantage of, you know, and $200, that goes a long way in the Philippines, but $200 here in the US, that's a phone bill. That could be a car payment. Yeah, that's still a lot. Of rent.
You know, I know my grandma too. She actually helped rebuild her family home.
Oh, wow.
Back in the Philippines, and it, you know, turned out really nice. And you know, like, that's also a way to preserve your legacy, your family life back in the Philippines, to help better themselves. And you know, I'm all for that. But I think too, what a lot of people back home in the Philippines, especially, don't realize, like, what they don't realize is, you know, if you're in America, you know, like we said before, it doesn't mean it's all good and gravy. You know, like Carla said, that $200 can go a long way there, but it also can go a long way here. You know, and a lot of people can't even afford to save sometimes in America. So it might be easy to ask for that $200 every month, but you know, things do happen here that can affect how much can be given back. And you know, I think there needs to be conversations there as well to help better understanding of finances, I guess. But at the same time, it's kind of confusing too, because you shouldn't really be talking about finances with just anybody.
Yeah. I have a question for you, Jazz.
Yeah.
Okay. So say there was a distant cousin or auntie on your mom's side in the Philippines that you've never ever met, but you've heard their name in passing every once in a while, but you've never met them, never had a FaceTime call. You don't even have them as a friend on Facebook. And they hit you up and they're really struggling and they're asking you to send them $500 to help. Maybe they're about to lose their house, or they need groceries, or they're just really struggling, and you are their last like hope. Would you send them that $500?
Well, there goes a lot with that, because first I got to verify that this person is not a scammer. Hence, me being scammed in the past, episode 3.
I was gonna say episode 3.
Check out episode 3. Carla and I both got scammed. But you know, at first I got to verify, like, who is this person? You know, because I know that there are a lot of family that you know, I'm friends with on Facebook that are on my mom's side, but I don't necessarily know who they are. Of course I could check with like my fam who I do know and be like, hey, like, this cousin hit me up. Are they really our cousin? Like, do they really need money? You know? But obviously, you know, if I had the money to send them to support, like, I would absolutely do it. If you're like my fam, yes. Even if I don't know you, because I feel like that's an extension of support. Like, if my mom was still here, if my mama was still here, her mom, I know they would reach out
Yeah.
and offer some money and help because they know that their family comes from, you know, poverty. They don't have a lot. But I do have an interesting story.
Okay.
So it was a couple months ago. My mom's mom, her brother had a birthday, and I remember his one of his daughters hit me up on Facebook, and I know who she is, you know, so she's verified family. You know, she was like, oh, you know, your Lola Danny, his bike broke, and you know, now, you know, he's sad, like he doesn't get to ride his bike around, and this dude's like, I think he's about like maybe almost 80, so but he's still kicking, riding his bike all around and, you know, staying fit. And I was like, damn, you know, like this is my mama's only brother who's alive. She loved him so much. I want to give him a bike, you know, and luckily I was able to send money, you know, along with my sister. We were able to send money back home to them, and they were able to give him this beautiful bike, and he was so happy. And, you know, that just made me feel so good because I knew that I was able to, you know, show my love to them and let them know, like, hey, we still got you in any way we can, and, you know, made his birthday really special. So I think that was really, really great.
That's really sweet. I love that. I have a niece in the Philippines, my cousin's daughter. I've never met her. The last time I saw my cousin was at a family reunion in the Philippines in 1998, I believe. So I haven't seen him in years and years and years. But his mom actually lives with my parents out here in the U.S. And my Auntie Lucy.
Yes.
And
I like her.
Yeah, she's great. So this niece, she is a huge Disney fan. She loves Frozen. She loves Moana. And even though I've never met her, never held her, she is still my niece. She's the cutest bib girl ever. I mean, she's 6 now, but she's still a baby. And whenever it's Christmas, I have no hesitation in going to Target, Walmart, like finding the best Frozen goods ever so they could ship it back home. I remember one time they were calling and asking if we can send a Frozen backpack because she was about to enter, I think, the 1st grade. And I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's buy the best one they can find, like the best one we can find. I don't care if it's $50. Let's do it. Like, let's, you know, because growing up, I remember, not that my parents were really poor when I was younger, but you know, I'd want the Barbie backpack or the Barney backpack, but you know, $15 for a backpack when they can spend $7 on a generic JanSport, you know, for the 6th grade. That was more in their eyes, like that was reasonable. So I was thinking of, I was
like the kid in you.
Yeah, I was more. It was the kid in me that was just like, oh, she really wants a Frozen backpack. Let's do it. And she's told her grandma, my auntie, that she's very grateful, like, thank you, Ate Carla, like, for all the stuff. And so if they ever come out to the US, like, I will be like, let's go to Disneyland, girl, like, we're gonna have some fun. But yeah, so if definitely financial needs, and same thing if a cousin or a distant someone hit me up and I verified and they really were who they were, I wouldn't mind sending as long as I had the money, because you know, even though you're family, I also have to think about my life here in the US first, because I can't help you if I can't help myself first. If I'm struggling to pay rent, then I won't have a head over my shoulders to be able to, a roof over my head to be able to send.
I hope you have a head over your shoulders.
I hope I have a shoulders. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Anyways, but yeah, if I'm struggling to pay rent, then, you know, I can't help you out in the long run.
Yeah, it's like when you're on a plane, they say put your mask on before you can help anybody else.
Exactly.
Like, you gotta breathe first.
Yeah, before so. But that's just one of the family traditions. I'm sending money home. But one of the next traditions is courting. And if you don't know what courting is, and if you're not familiar, courting is an act of dating. And not just dating around. When you meet the one or you meet the boo thing and you want to get all up in that, you have to date them and take them out and really get to know them. And I think that's actually one of my favorite parts about the Filipino culture is the courting aspect, because here in the US there is just this hookup culture. You know, Tinder, there's Grindr, there's a bunch of different dating apps used just for hooking up. And a lot of people online are talking about how people just want to hook up and no one's down for dating, or people beat around the bush, or they don't say what they're feeling and they're just trying to act cool to try to impress them, when you just got to be honest with yourself. And so courting in the Philippines, in Filipino culture, is, you know, not just dating the person, but you're also dating the family as well, and just really taking the time to get to know the person, because, you know, so you could be with the person, like, officially.
Yeah, it's interesting how, you know, because when I grew up, I heard the word courting too, and I thought, I was like, what the hell is courting? That sounds so like 1800. And, you know, like, which was kind of confusing as well, because they're like, oh, you can't date. But they talk about like, oh, when you're courting, are you courting them? Yeah. It's just so strange.
I used to live in Anaheim with my auntie, my uncle, and my 2 cousins. And I remember my grandma used to call my auntie, and they would just talk and all that stuff. But my grandma would ask, oh, is anyone courting Carla out there? And it'd be so funny because my auntie would come into the room and laugh and be like, oh, your inang, she's asking if anyone's courting you. And I was like, no, you could tell her no, that I'm focusing on studies. She might be really happy. Or when I see her, she'll ask, oh, is anyone courting you? And in my head, I'm like, let me tell you, if courting means getting digged down after the clubs or in the back of a car behind Food for Less, then yes, a girl's getting courted. But
behind Food for Less?
No.
It wasn't a Sprouts or a Whole Foods? Oh my God. Hold on, I got distracted. I didn't expect that.
Are you thinking about it?
I'm thinking about you in a car behind a Food for Less.
Well, I'm very small, so like a Fit, you know, a Kia Fit or a Honda Fit, a Kia Soul,
a Yaris.
A Yaris, yeah.
Oh my God, a Fiat. Okay.
A smart car.
Okay, I have a question. Does courting work the same way? So say, I mean, I guess in hetero relationships, it's automatic to assume a guy would court a girl. Yeah. But like, can a girl court a guy?
Yes, 100%. Girl, it is 2021. The guy should not just be doing all the work. And I know there's some girls out there who prefer that, who like to get asked out. But I think girls are just as powerful. They know what they want. If you want to court a guy, go for it. But also remember, court a guy and, you know, just keep your mind open, because sometimes there's guys who isn't just going to court you, they're going to court everyone else. But then again, if they're courting more than one person, that's not really courting, because courting is it's exclusively specific. Dating, you know. But yes, girls can definitely court others.
So when your grandma asked if anyone was courting you, would it work the same? Or like, why didn't she ask, is Carla courting anybody?
I think my grandma just turned 98. Bless her soul, she is so cute. But
she's strong.
She's still really traditional in that sense with the whole gender role thing. Okay. So that's why in her head, she's always asking, is a man courting Carla, not me. But if I wanted to court someone, yes. Okay. You gotta date your person.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you know, like, courting, that also goes with, you know, the person you're dating. They go to the house, they say hi to your family, they greet you, and they're also building relationships with the family. Yep. Because if you're not doing that, you know, you're just casually dating, you know? Yeah. And courting, like Carla said, it takes more responsibility. It's a little more intentional. And I think, you know, I'm personally a fan of courting. You know, like, you can't just, it's just kind of like having friends. Like, you can't just let anybody come into the house. Like, you know, like, you also got to bring in people who respect you, respect your family, respect everybody who's in your life. So yes. If they didn't got that, they're not for you.
Yep. Then you are not getting some behind Food for Less. 100% with the you know, you're also dating the family members. So it reminds me of there's a Filipino TV show. It came out, I think, in 2017. maybe it's called On the Wings of Love. It stars
On the Wings of Love.
That is the theme song.
Okay.
And it stars Nadine Lustre and James Reid. They are one of my favorite love teams, and I know they're not together anymore. Sad. It felt like I got broken up with.
How did they break up? Like, aren't these love teams usually like for life?
They could be for life, yes, but I think
their contract ended.
No, I think they just like they kind of grew apart and they're taking time to do other things and just see themselves. It was a very amicable breakup. It wasn't anything messy or anything like that. Okay. But anyway, so this it's great. You should watch it. It's called On the Wings of
The Wings of Love.
But this is a great TV show. I highly recommend. It's one of my top 5 favorite Filipino TV shows. And so the main girl, Leia, has an older sister named Tiffany in the Philippines, and she is getting courted by their quirky, silly, very clumsy, but all around very good guy named Tolites. Tolites. It's a nickname. I'm pretty sure in the show he has a name, but you know how Filipinos traditionally give, you know, like nicknames? There's an Uncle Boy. Okay. There's Tita Baby, but the real name's like Bernadette.
I've never heard Tolites.
Neither have I, but that's his name. I feel like I'm not saying it with the correct Filipino
Tolites.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I'm not saying it.
Did that sound Filipino?
I think so.
I don't know. Sure. I don't know how to do a Filipino accent.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm saying Tolites in a very westernized accent, so I apologize. But anyways, in the TV show, he is doing so much, not just for Tiffany, but for the family. The dad, he was sick, so he was helping the dad out. He's helping the sister Leia. He was doing so much. You could see him like cleaning the house, scrubbing, picking up Tiffany from work and holding groceries and doing so much for the family to show that he is devoted to Tiffany. And this is just to get with her, to be officially boyfriend and girlfriend. This isn't just, oh, I'm doing this so I can marry her and marry into the family. This is, I just want to be with her. Gotcha. And it was very, very cute in the TV show, but that's the way courting works in the Philippines. You're not just courting the girl or the guy, you're courting their family too.
It's definitely one of my favorite Filipino family traditions, courting. I think we need to bring courting back 2021, but safely.
All right. So another Filipino tradition is family gathering. Filipino families love to gather and party and have a grand old spanking time. And I know I do whenever it's someone's birthday, like for example, October, which is where my birthday's at, and my dad's birthday, my auntie's birthday, my cousin's birthday. So my family, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, on October 26th, let's all go to so-and-so's house and we'll have an all October's birthday, and they'll get cake and lots of food, and we all celebrate everybody's October we'll all celebrate everyone's birthday whose is in October. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. There's many different reasons why Filipinos will party. They'll literally find any freaking reason. Whenever there's a Pacquiao fight, my dad loves Pacquiao, despite him being problematic. He will host a huge party at the house, purchase the fight on HBO, and everyone will come over. There'll be drunk people everywhere, lots of food, all the cousins, and it's a lot of fun.
Is there something that your family does at these family gatherings that you look forward to that is just kind of like your own family tradition?
Ooh, honestly, no. It's just everyone just looks forward to seeing each other. You know, it's just so much fun. Both my sides, both my mom's side and my dad's side are very close. So sometimes I'll go to my dad's side of the family and I have cousins from my mom's side that will show up because everyone's really close. And it's really cool because I have some, on my mom's side, I have my nieces and nephews who I used to hang out with just, you know, so, like a little bit at a time. And then now that they're all 22 plus, for the most part, they're all drinking, they're all adults. So now I can hang out with them more so at these family parties at my mom's side because they're closer in age to me and we have more in common. And it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel you. Because of the state of the world, it's really sad that we can't really gather too much with like families. Like, one thing that I really look forward to with my family is, like you said, it's just being around each other and having, like that comfort and love around you, the people who are down for you and support you. You know, nothing beats like having your family all together in one room, vibing with each other, acting stupid, you know, getting drunk if that's your vibe, you know, and it's just fun, you know, like, especially even too, if like you have a friend that comes over and it's like the first time your friend has come to a family party, you're going to be welcomed with open arms, you know, and you're going to be a part of the family and know like how it is to really be around Filipinos. Like, it's, you know, and that's one thing like I like about Filipinos, like they're very, very hospitable, welcoming, and it's fun. It's really, really fun. Yeah,
for sure. When you if you are a non-Filipino going to a Filipino party, just know that you've made it. I mean, I know me personally, I don't just invite any old fucking friend to any Filipino family. I have to really fuck with you to be like, hey, come over next Saturday. There's going to be tons of food. You're part of the family.
You got to get that golden ticket to come in. In terms of me for family gathering, it's always been a big part of my life, you know, when I was very young. So our house in San Francisco, our house was like the hub for all family and generations, you know, like my mom, her cousins, and then when they all had kids, they came to the house, you know, and everybody just gathered. It was a house people grew up in. And I think that's always kind of been like embedded in me, where it's like, you know, family gatherings are so important because I saw how important it was, you know, for family to be together. And my pop was the leader of that. You know, he made sure, like you said, people are going to celebrate everything. But most importantly, it was like Christmas. Christmas fucking Eve, man. Like, it would be popping. Even in New Year's Eve. Like, it would be popping. Everybody's there, gathered, having fun. It's really loud. You know, and I think that's important to have, you know, and luckily, you know, if you're able to have that, you know, consider yourself really, really blessed that you have like a big family around you, because, you know, unfortunately not a lot of people are blessed. You know, and I think also it's kind of, I would say not a responsibility, but it's very, very nice and very, you know, compassionate to bring people in that group, knowing that they don't have that in their life, you know. And as we got older, our friends who maybe didn't have you know, big family parties, or maybe had broken families, were able to come to our house and share in that tradition with us. And, you know, it's kind of like passing on the legacy to not only family but like our closest people. And, you know, I think that's one of the traditions that is very, very positive in our lives. So shout out to my pop.
Shout out to you, Pops. Speaking of Christmas, that leads us into our next tradition. And that is Christmas is 3 months long. Christmas is no longer just in December. In the Filipino community, Christmas starts in October. And my family personally doesn't do this, but I know there's like a lot of family out in the Philippines, and even a lot of Filipinos out here in the US. They start decorating their homes in October. And I personally love fall, so I would not start decorating my house with Christmas things in October. I would like to give fall and those oranges and pumpkin spice lattes a chance. But as soon as it's December, like, it's time for Christmas decorations for sure. And I think it's like, I love Christmas. It's probably my favorite holiday. I love just that cozy feeling. I love seeing color red and gold everywhere. It's just, it ignites a lot of good memories in me. I've been very, very blessed to have only good Christmases. Even during COVID last year, I mean, COVID's still here, but even last year when no one was gathering, I still had a great Christmas. So I've never had a bad Christmas ever, and I'm gonna knock on wood because I don't want to have a terrible Christmas coming up in life. But I just, Christmas always instigates such good, warm, cozy feelings in me. So I think it's really cool that Christmas tradition, or Filipino Christmases, start in October. Does your family start decorating or celebrating in October?
I don't really remember too much about when they started decorating, but I know my pop, he would start decorating, putting up the lights. We had these big pearls that we'd put on the windows. That the pearls are like the stars, these like glowing light stars that Filipinos make, which is really cool. It's a really cool tradition in the Philippines. But, you know, he would start decorating, you know, putting up the stockings on the mantle and But, you know, that's something that I think is really fun because, you know, Christmas isn't just Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas Day. You know, it's definitely a seasonal thing. And like, you know, like you said, it brings you a lot of like good, warm feelings and happiness. And I think, you know, this is just a personal note. Like, I feel like people need to preserve that and bring that back to life again, because I feel like it's so consumed with consumerism and buying presents and all this shit, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, which is sad. Like, we can't gather with people we love to celebrate this holiday and celebrate each other. But I'm going on a rant, on a tangent, but you know, I just feel so strongly about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love Christmas, and I will watch Christmas videos just to feel like happiness. Because it just brings me a
like
lot of
24/7, like 365. You'll watch Christmas videos.
Hell yeah, I'll watch Christmas videos in June if I want to. Like people just building gingerbread houses or decorating. I love watching people's Christmas decoration videos on YouTube. Like people decorating their homes for Christmas and gathering ideas for Christmas decor. I just love that shit so much. And one of my love languages for sure is gift giving. So when I buy presents for people, whether that's my nieces, my nephews, my mom, whoever, I sit there and I make a list and I think about them. How old are they? What are things they like? I don't just buy everyone a Starbucks gift card or just get whatever's the cheapest. I literally think and I curate the perfect gift for someone. I remember one year in 2019, so my nieces were working very, very hard. One was in nursing school. The other one was working on some medical stuff. They were just working their asses off. And I knew they needed a self-care spa package. So I got them really cute pajama set. I got them some bath bombs, some good aromatherapy things, and one of the things that this was my favorite part of the gift, I got them each 3 joints with a very nice weed in it, and I grinded it and I packed it my damn self, and I put it in a really cute card holder, and I stuffed it with cotton, and I put tissue paper, and it says like hand packed by Tita Carla, and it was 3 beautiful joints for all of them.
It's a great gift.
See? And I know they gonna need it because they stressed out.
Yeah. You know, one Filipino tradition is going to midnight mass on Christmas. Is that something your family did?
Yes. So a lot of my family still does that. My immediate family, like my mom and my dad, they don't do that anymore. But I remember having to go to midnight mass, and I didn't really want to go.
Yeah, for me, I didn't really understand that tradition because, well, my family didn't do that. What we would do is we'd open our presents at midnight. Santa would come down the hallway. We start singing carols, and then he'd come down the hallway, ringing his bell and the full suit. And then Santa would distribute all the presents under the tree. And that was our family tradition.
Nice.
And then, you know, obviously, yeah, so that was our family tradition. It was a great tradition. It's something that we continue to do for the kids in the family. And yeah, like, I love it. I love looking at the pictures. Like I mentioned before, you know, like a lot of the family have been there for generations. So even looking back at the pictures in like the 80s and the 90s, like you could see Santa Claus still doing his thing, showing up at midnight. So I thought that was a really cool family tradition with my family.
That's cute. I really, really like that. On my mom's side of the family, we all gather on Christmas, and it's always usually at the same house, my auntie's house, and we all gather in the garage, and usually my mama Rose, my auntie, would say everyone's name, like, so to Erica, to Princess, and then they would distribute all the gifts. And then once all the gifts are distributed, all the kids normally will sit and open all their presents. They have huge trash bags to put all the trash, and then another trash bag for all their gifts that they've gathered. And I remember one time one of my cousins told me, oh, Carla, one day when you're older, you won't get these gifts anymore. You're gonna be the adult that has to give the gifts. And I remember crying about it. I was so traumatized because I was like, no, I need all the toys. But now that I am the adult giving the presents, I don't mind. I love it. Like I said, I love gift giving. And so looking at, I like watching people open up my gifts to see their reaction because I work so hard on it. And so
now you're the adult giving pre-packed joints to the children.
Hell yeah.
Who are now adults.
I'm not just a regular auntie, I'm a cool auntie. So this goes on to the next tradition, and it has to do with New Year's Eve traditions. So there's a bunch of different traditions within this tradition, and these are things that I've gained from my mom. And I thought growing up, I thought these were things just my mom did and made up, but then I did some research and I realized these are actual Filipino traditions. And one of them is putting coins and money at your front door on Christmas Eve, and that signifies money coming in for the new year. So even when I moved out of my parents' house and I started staying with friends, I would tell them, hey, if you see money on the front door, just know it's a Filipino tradition. It means money coming in. And so my last two roommates, they're white, love them so much. Actually, one of them did our promo photos. Shout out Max Baker. And her twin sister, Sam Baker, who did all the behind the scenes. They were my roommates. And so I told them, hey, on Christmas Eve, you're going to see dollar bills and coins on the front door. That means money coming in for the new year. So that's what it is. And they were like, oh, cool. And then they started bringing out their coins and then putting it out on the front too. Yeah. And I thought that was like, one, sweet. It warmed my heart that they were like participating in it and they didn't think it was stupid or anything. They were like, oh shit, okay, well let me.
You're like, I want some money. Let me drop my coins here.
Yeah. So is that something your family did too?
That's not something my family did. On New Year's Eve when we were kids, I remember my pop putting like coins in like a shaker, like a glass bottle or something, and they'd be like shaking it, making noise. You know, when midnight we're like when midnight, you know, clocks in, was it when midnight hits? When midnight hits, you know, they'd shake the money and then they'd throw the money, and all the kids would be like scrambling for the coins and you know, getting that money. Yeah, that was our money. It's like we didn't wait for the money to come; the kids actually grabbed the money.
Gotcha. So the shaking, though, that in itself is also a tradition. So when midnight hits, you make hella noise, and it kind of is supposed to signify warding off all the bad juju that could possibly hit you during the new year. So you're scaring off all the bad spirits, all the bad juju trying to come at you and mess with your vibe. And you're like, no, bitch. No, bitch.
Not here.
Not here. Another New Year's Eve tradition is having 12 round fruit on a platter on your counter table or whatever. So oranges, peaches, whatever. And the round fruit is supposed to signify prosperity and good luck for the year. And then the 12 different kinds is for the 12 months. And so that's something I've kept up. My mom also makes us dress in polka dots. So she'll use polka dot pajamas. Do you have any specific New Year's Eve traditions besides the coins in the jar?
I don't have any specific New Year's Eve traditions, honestly. I'm not too big on it, but one thing that's really interesting is like one of my good friends, Brianna, she actually, you know, told me about this a couple years ago, where she doesn't consider New Year's like the new year to start on January. She considers the new year to start on her birthday.
Oh, okay.
So
when's Brianna's birthday?
I think it's like April 5th.
Okay.
I hope I got that right. No, I'm pretty sure it's April 5th. But
Brianna's gonna listen to this and be like, girl, we're not gonna be friends no more.
It's like, damn, how long I known you? But yeah, you know, New Year's Eve starts on her birthday. So, you know, ever since she told me that, I was like, you know what? I really like that, because I'm not gonna, my new year does not start on this calendar date that you tell me. It's gonna be on a special date that actually means something personal to myself. And so New Year's, I don't really care too much about it.
Gotcha.
You know, it's good, it's big for everybody else, but you think about it, like, for what reason? You know what I'm saying? Like because the calendar date says so.
It's funny when people have their New Year's resolutions. I mean, it's not funny. It's always good to have resolutions, like just in general. But when people are like, oh, my New Year's resolution is to get healthy, get fit. And so they'll like be really unhealthy up until the 1st. And then they start and the gyms are just filled with people. So packed. And then by March, they kind of like drift off. And I've had New Year's resolutions where the resolution is to get fit and lose weight, but I think people go into it with like new year, new me, when you could start now. Like, why wait? Start it now.
Don't start.
I won't start it now, but you can.
Like, don't start when everybody else starts. Like, start when it's ready for you. And like, that's the thing about starting these like resolutions for yourself, or these new like goals for yourself. Like it all starts in your head and your discipline. And if you're just in it because like, you know what, this is a good time because I think it's a good time, or the ad came up and they're like, oh, start your gym membership, $0 down, you know, $10 a month, whatever. Like,
okay, Planet Fitness.
So I really like this one. It's eating long noodles for long life. And a lot of the times this is seen on birthdays. So if your family has a birthday, your friend has a birthday, you're gonna eat some pancit, you know, maybe eat a cup of noodle if you're on a budget, you know, whatever noodles to signify well wishes and good life for the person you love.
Yes. And like Jazz said, it's not just for birthdays. It could be for anniversaries. It could be for any type of thing that you're trying to celebrate. So whether that's long life or many more years of love for the couple or yourself, you and your significant other. I love it. It's great. I love a good pancit. But yeah, sometimes I don't want the pancit. Sometimes I want ramen or whatever it may be. Spaghetti, yeah. So eating noodles is a great Filipino tradition. I like, because it also comes in the form of food, and Filipinos love their food.
Yes, we love food here too.
Yeah. Another Filipino food tradition is cutting the cross in the rice before you serve it. And this is actually something my family doesn't do. I feel like I've seen my grandma do it, but I thought it was just like something she herself did, but I never caught on.
You know, I didn't know this really existed either until one time when I was a kid. I was about to eat the rice. Like I was hungry, so I was like ready to just dig in, and then I take the scooper and I'm about to scoop some rice out of the pot, and my pop was like like giving me the look, and I'm like, yeah. And you know, he's pretty much saying like make a cross, and I'm like, make a cross, like you know, and you know, you have to actually mark the rice with the scooper and indent a cross in the rice.
Gotcha.
You know, and that's something that I've done since that moment. I remember when he passed, like my mom made the cross in the rice, and I was like, oh cool, you know, like I like how, you know, we're still doing that and putting like crosses on the rice, you know. And we learned it from Pop, and you know, I think that was really cool, like we passed down. And you know, every time I do it, I think about him. I think about him you know, looking down on me and giving me the, hey, you better make a cross, a rice cross, or you know, I'll be mad.
Yeah.
So the purpose of actually making the cross in the rice is to bless your food. And to be thankful for your food. It's not just we just wanted to mark the rice because we wanted to make signs, but yeah, it's to actually bless the rice.
You start making crop circles
for like mandalas and shit. It's like we're making like it's someone's birthday, or like happy birthday. Oh, that's funny.
You know, speaking of the rice, the aklo, the spoon for the aklo. I don't know if I don't know if that's just Ilocano, but the aklo is a scooper for the rice. Okay. So I remember one time I was having dinner with my family, and the ladle on the soup was facing me. And my grandma told my mom to move the ladle because it was facing me, and I didn't understand why. And they were saying, my grandma was saying how when you're eating and there's like a pot of soup or whatever it is, and there's a ladle, it shouldn't face anybody, because then that means like that person's gonna get hurt. And so my grandma noticed the ladle was like, it just drifted and it started to face me, and she was like, she told my mom, oh, move the ladle so it like faces in between the people or whoever. Yeah. And it's so
like, it's like a, what's it called, like a board game when the arrow faces like, or like Twister, like when it faces like somebody.
So now when I see the ladle, even if it's on the stove, then I will move it. I remember this happened in your North Hollywood apartment, and your roomie was cooking, and I noticed that the ladle was facing him, so I moved it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna move this for you, bro. Like
you unknowingly saved him from some bad juju.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna move this, bro, because my grandma says if it faces you, you're gonna get hurt. So I was like, I'm gonna move this shit for you.
I just saved your life.
And another tradition, or like within family dinners, is when people are eating, you don't leave. Like, you don't leave the house to go somewhere while people are eating. Like, you have to wait till everyone's done, because apparently that means that that person who is leaving, they could get hurt too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I remember one time, this was when I was visiting my family, had already moved out, and I was eating dinner, and I finished my dinner and everyone was still eating, and so I decided to leave. And my grandma told me to sit my ass, well, she didn't tell me to sit my ass down, but she was essentially telling me, sit down, wait till everyone's finished eating. And I didn't like really understand why I was telling her, it's already late, like I still have to drive 45 minutes back home. It's tired, I have work tomorrow. And then she's like, no, you have to like stay and make sure everyone's finished eating first before you can leave. And then my mom was explaining, it's because you might get hurt if you try to leave. It's always me getting hurt at the dinner table, and the only thing that's hurt is my tummy because it's so big after like just stuffing my face. My soul is good, but my tummy be hurting. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was another thing. So when people are eating, I don't do that. And I don't think any of my family has like left while eating.
On the topic of food, we have a couple food traditions here. Filipinos love to eat. Say when somebody passes, or even just a sign of respect at a party, you make a plate of food and you offer it to our people who have passed. So say like a grandma passed, or grandpa, cousin, whoever, and they have you usually have like a photo of them like in the house, and you make the plate, put it right next to them in the plate, even like a cup of water, so they get to eat before you. So just letting them know like, hey, we got you, here's your food, sign of respect. So I think that was also a really cool tradition that it shows a lot of respect for your ancestors. I think that's so important to remember the people who have come before you and who mean a lot to you but no longer here. So what better way than doing it than food?
Whenever they when there's a big gathering, they'll put some food aside, like a little bit of everything. And then my grandma, what she also does is she also puts 3 cigarettes on a plate and like a lighter. I think she does that with my like family members who smoke. So she'll give them cigarettes and stuff like that. There's always a boiled egg as well, cut in half. I don't know why it's specific, if it's like specifically like, boiled egg it means something, but it's always that. So I think that's like really nice and cool.
Yeah, I like that cigarette on a plate thing, because it's something that person indulged in their life.
And speaking of people that pass and elders, so another Filipino tradition is getting blessed. You know what it is? Come here, ate. So essentially what you do to your elders is you take their hand and then you put it to their forehead and you just give them a bless.
I wonder where that started.
Yeah, I have no idea where it started either, but I remember there was a TikTok that I saw where it's like, you're getting old when you yourself went from blessing the elders to now the younger kids are blessing you. You're like, no.
Yeah, I really like the blessing. We would call it amen.
Yeah, okay.
I know some people say like manopo or something.
Yeah, manopo.
But yeah, we'd say, amen. And, I just thought it was like a cool, sign of respect that Filipino youngsters showed to their elders. And it was like special. It was something I look forward to every time I came home and I got to bless my pop and my mama. And obviously it could be something similar to like a hug or like a kiss, but in Filipino tradition it's the hand to the forehead like we just showed you.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. It's kind of just like when people also like other cultures, like they'll bow to their elders as a sign of respect. And like, is that something that you would want to do for like your grandkids? Did you mention that?
Oh, like would I want them to bow to me? Yes, bow, because I am the queen. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I mean, I think for me I would prefer a hug.
Okay.
But I know, so my grandma, I don't bless her, I give her a hug when I see her, or she'll tell me, no, don't hug me because I have a cough, so she's trying to protect me. But and then I have other they're like my cousin's grandparents, so we're not necessarily related.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah. So I'll bless them.
Okay.
Instead of just going in for a hug, or I'll bless them and then give them a hug.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. But my grandparents, I never really bless. It was just more, I see them, I give them a big old hug.
Yeah.
Shake my booty, and they're like, no, don't do that. My grandma, every time she sees me and I like to mess with her, I'll like shake my booty in front of her, and she'll tell me that I'm a pom-pom. And that means that you're like an attention seeker.
Okay.
And not in like a good way, but in a really bad way. Like you're trying to seek attention from creepy old men and all that stuff. So
no pom-pom here.
No pom-pom here.
I personally would like the double. I would like the amen and then the hug.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's cool to mix it up.
Yeah.
Whatever's your flavor. Maybe a dap. Maybe a cool handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, keep the tradition, but you know, it's good to change the tradition a little bit.
Within the Filipino culture, there's so many different traditions that have to do with the elders, because Filipinos really respect their elders. That's why we have so many of these honorifics. So like tita, manong, lola. Like we don't just call them Cheryl or Kyle. We always
Why do they have white names?
Because they be calling their mom Sharon and things like that. So there's always these honorifics, because your elders are very, very important. You should respect them. And there's this thing that whenever we see my grandma, sometimes we'll have her, I don't know what it's called in English, or it's basically where she takes your head, and then she'll like kind of like do this, and she'll say a blessing. And it's kind of like for good luck, good health, and like you can't just do it. Like it's the elder, like the matriarch, the queen of the family is the one who does it. So you'll have these like my 45-year-old cousin with his bald ass head going, Inang, can I have? And then he'll like put his head.
Like it don't matter how old you are, you're still like the kid, and you know, it's good to get that blessing from the elder, the grandma. I love it. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. And I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, I think that covers a good amount of traditions. You know, obviously, you know, these are just family traditions that we experience in our own households. You know, I actually want to know what other Filipino traditions are there that we haven't talked about. You know? Especially, you know, us being Filipino American, we're very, you know, limited in what our families have passed down to us. But, you know, like people in the Philippines, like what family traditions y'all have over there that maybe we can also adapt and teach our kids out here all about the culture, the traditions, and the good stuff.
And if you want to share what those traditions are, whether they're Filipino traditions or maybe you yourself and your family have adopted and created new traditions that you're now passing down to your kids and grandchildren, like let us know, and let us know on social media. We are at Cracking the Coconut at Instagram and on Facebook. We are also at Cracking the Coco on Twitter and on TikTok as well.
Yes, and we have our beautiful website that we have designed and customized and update weekly.
Sponsor us, Squarespace.
CrackingTheCoconut.com. Check it out. Yeah, I think that wraps it up, you know. It's been a good time, Carla.
It's been a really good time, you know. Season 9, wow. I'm already there. Episode 9. Now we have one more episode till the end of season 1, but don't you worry, season 2 it's not gonna be too far after.
Yes, and you know, keep a lookout on some cool stuff we're gonna be coming out with. Man, we cannot wait to share.
We have a lot of exciting things, a lot of cool collaborations coming up, and we are so excited. So once we can share all the fun, exciting news, hit us up.
All right, yeah. So, I'm gonna go eat my snickerdoodle now.
Ooh, yum! I'm gonna go to Food for Less. Just kidding. No, I'm not. I'm gonna take a nap.
All right. Bye.
Bye.